This is dedicated to the muck rakers. Activism in the written form, journalism and vision, the cornerstone of media, intellectual property, perseverance for social change. Child labor laws later off, hope the gains are deeper than the factories. Upton and the Sinclair treatment is a tragedy, immaculate perceptions. The Pure Food and Drug Act was actually directed by the writings of a muckraker some take for granted. Aggressive in its nature, the shame of the cities, written for the citizens living in gritty, pitiful motivation for uprising. Hope the tragic ends, depictions of reality, photographic lens. But as an author and writer, we have the duty to spark the heart of a lion inside of the listener, switching from pacifist to activist, new to reinforce wisdom, mutual support system. This is dedicated to the muckrakers, to the ones standing up for something bigger than themselves, embedded in progression, crumbling corruption and bigoted oppression. We living in your lessons. This is dedicated to the muckrakers, to the ones standing up for something bigger than themselves, embedded in progression, crumbling corruption and bigoted oppression. We living in your lessons. This is dedicated to the muckrakers, who's never letting us plummet. Punch them in their stomach till some of them sick of it from it. Lyrics and the music are bigger than spitting rubbish, so we climbing up the mountain until we hitting the summit. And for the foremost, fortified, have a dream speech immortalized on the mall, Washington DC. But after fall, autumn leaves change, regenerate, attack the core to irrigate a lane, incinerate inequality. When I meditate, anomalies arise, defined only by the measures of our actions. Convoluted newspapers, landscape economies, the horns are rooted deeper than the image of your majesty. It ought to be simple to find the unbiased, so you gotta be sipped in a time and space odyssey. Communicate the native tongue, graffiti, rock messages, autonomy's the emphasis. This is dedicated to the muckrakers, to the ones standing up for something bigger than themselves, embedded in progression, crumbling corruption and bigoted oppression. We living in your lessons. This is dedicated to the muckrakers, to the ones standing up for something bigger than themselves, embedded in progression, crumbling corruption and bigoted oppression. We living in your lessons. This is dedicated to the muckrakers, to the sound shapers, to the KRS-Ones and the groundbreakers, to the poor righteous teachers, a tribe core quest to the day lies, organized confusion and common sense, form defense against the dark clouds. Grab your pen and then begin to let it bark loud. Never negative restraint, paint the mural of your lineage. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, showing what the culture really is. The mission is cohabitation, shared philosophies, all my aspirations, and the masses waiting for the revival and the second coming, gunning for the oppressor, transgressor, lesser animal, Hannibal Lecter, mess your finances, but your pride will defy all the sly glances. I provide answers for the downtrodden, overlooked, the desolate. Hold your fist and represent. This is dedicated to the muckrakers, to the ones standing up for something bigger than themselves, embedded in progression, crumbling corruption and bigoted oppression. We living in your lessons. This is dedicated to the muckrakers, to the ones standing up for something bigger than themselves, embedded in progression, crumbling corruption and bigoted oppression. We living in your lessons. This is dedicated to the muckrakers,